Hello friends, today we will start with our second lesson, acids, bases and salts. Now before proceeding to the lesson, we will see the difference between acids and bases. You have heard in the previous class that there are sour and bitter taste of food due to acids and bases present in them. Now we will see that why we called chemically as acids and bases, how they are different from each other, that we are going to see in this lesson. Now see, acids are sour to taste, but bases are bitter to taste. Acids burn the skin when touched, while bases are soapy to touch, means bases are slippery, while acids are non-slippery. An acid turns blue litmus to red, while bases turns red litmus to blue. Acid remain colorless with phenolphthalein, while bases change to pink color with phenolphthalein. Acidic solutions turn dark pink when reacted with China rose indicator, while basic solutions turn green when reacted with China rose indicator. Means acids are the compounds when we make aqueous solution of it, then this splits up into H plus ion, while if we take base in aqueous solution, it splits to give OH minus ion, that is hydroxyl ion. In this lesson we will study the reactions of acids and bases, how they cancel out each other's effects, and many more interesting things that we use and see in our daily life. Okay, now see, in activity 2.1 they have given us an activity to understand the chemical properties of acids and bases. They have told us to collect samples from our science lab like hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, acetic acid, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide. Now we have to put a drop of each of the above solutions on a watch glass and test with a drop of the following indicators. Now we have to see the change in color that is observed with red litmus, blue litmus, phenolphthalein and methyl orange indicator. And we have noted the observation in the table. You have to draw this table in your notebook in order to get means which paper turns to which color, and in order to know the chemical formula of the solutions and the effects with the indicators. Now see, first is what? Hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is represented by HCl. Okay, now when HCl, that is hydrochloric solution, when we put a drop of the above solution on a watch glass and test it with indicators, then they turns, if we use red litmus then it remains unchanged, but if we use blue litmus papers it turns to red. On the addition of the phenolphthalein indicator, HCl solution becomes colorless, while methyl orange solution, if we use methyl orange solution then it turns pinkish red in color. If we consider sulfuric acid, now sulfuric acid is represented by H2SO4. If we consider H2SO4 acid and if we use red litmus paper, it remains unchanged, but it turns blue litmus paper to red. And on addition of phenolphthalein solution, it remains colorless, while if we use methyl orange solution, that it turns pinkish red in color. Similarly is the case with nitric acid, that is HNO3, and acetic acid, that is CH3COOH. It does not show any effect on red litmus paper but turns blue litmus to red. Their solutions on addition of phenolphthalein indicator remains colorless, while if we add methyl orange solution then they changes to pinkish red in color. Now let's consider sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, that is MgOH2. See, chemical formula for sodium hydroxide is NaOH, potassium hydroxide is represented by KOH, magnesium hydroxide is represented by MgOH2, ammonium hydroxide is represented by NH4OH, and calcium hydroxide is represented by CaOH2. When we consider all these solution from sodium hydroxide to calcium hydroxide, they does not show any effect on blue litmus paper but turns red litmus paper to blue. And if we add phenolphthalein solution on these samples, then they appear to be reddish pink in color. And when we consider methyl orange solution, then they remains yellow. Okay, you can also note this observation in the table 2.1 which is given in your textbook on page number 18. Okay, now see, here they have given us another activity 2.2. In this activity we have to take some finely chopped onions in a plastic bag along with some strips of clean cloth. Okay, the cloth strips can be tasted with acids or bases. Take 2 of these strips and check their odor, means their smell. Now put it or keep them on a clean surface, and you can put few drops of dilute hydrochloric solution, that is HCl solution, on one strip, and on another strip you will have to put a few drops of dilute sodium hydroxide, that is NaOH solution. You have to rinse both cloth strips with water and again change their or check their odor. Now you will have to note the observations. You can also take in next step some dilute vanilla essence and clove oil and check their odor. Take some dilute HCl solution in one test tube and dilute NaOH solution in another test tube. Add a few drops of dilute vanilla essence to both the test tubes and shake well. Check the odor once again and record changes in odor if any. You can consider the similarly test for change in the odor of clove oil with dilute HCl or dilute NaOH solutions and record your observations. Now see, some of these vanilla, onion and clove can be used as olfactory indicators on the basis of their observations. Okay, means these are all the indicators which helps to change in the color. Now see, we have to study how do acids and bases reacts with metals. You can see the apparatus as shown in figure. Observe carefully this set of apparatus. What we have to do here, we have to take about 5 ml of dilute sulfuric acid in a test tube. That is, you have to take dilute H2SO4 solution and add few pieces of zinc granules to it. Now what do you observe on the surface of zinc granules? You have to pass the gas. See, when zinc granules are added with dilute sulfuric acid, what will happen? H2 gas will be released. Now see how H2 gas will be released. This reaction is provided to you in lesson 1. Zn plus H2SO4 gives you what? ZnSO4 and H2 gas is given out. Pass the gas being evolved through this soap solution. When you pass the gas evolved through the soap solution, then bubbles will form in the soap solution. Now take a burning candle near a gas filled bubble and note down your observation. You can also repeat this activity for other acids like HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, HNO3, that is nitric acid, and also acetic acid, that is CH3COOH. You will find or you can note all these observations in your book also. Now see, in this case what you will find that you react any acid with it, means HCl, HNO3 or CH3, COOH. Then what you will find that the metal in the reaction displaces hydrogen from the acids, okay, and hydrogen gas is given out. The metal combines with the remaining part of the acid and forms a common compound called a salt. Thus reaction can be mentioned as acid plus metal gives you salt plus hydrogen gas. Now see here, what we have done, we have taken zinc granules and added sulfuric acid, okay. Then what you will get ZnSO4, that is zinc sulfate, and H2 gas is released. Now if you consider HCl instead of Zn, okay, if you consider HOCl instead of Zn, then also what you will get, you will see that the H2 gas is released. Means what, if you consider any acid and if you react acid with metal, that is acid plus metal or metal plus acid, then the product obtained is what, salt. Whatever product is there, means here in this case ZnSO4 is a salt, okay, and H2 gas is given out, okay. Means whenever you react acid with metal, salt is formed and hydrogen gas is released, okay. So when you react acid and metal, salt, you obtain common salt and hydrogen gas is given out, okay. Now we will see how metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates react with acids. Now see what we have to do here. We have to take two test tubes. Label one test tube as A and label the other test tube as test tube B. Now take near about 0.5 gram of sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate means what? Na2CO3 in test tube A, and same amount of, that is 0.5 gram of sodium hydrogen carbonate. Sodium hydrogen carbonate means what? NaHCO3 in another test tube. Now add 2 ml of dilute HCl to both the test tubes. Means you will have to add dilute HCl to Na2CO3 also, and you will have to add dilute HCl in test tube B, NaHCO3 also. Now you will have to note the observation. Now pass the gas produced in each through lime water, that is calcium hydroxide solution as shown, okay. Now what happens in the reaction occurring in above activity? What happens in test tube A? Sodium carbonate reacts with dilute HCl, okay. Sodium carbonate means what? Na2CO3. It reacts with HCl, that is hydrochloric solution, to give sodium chloride, carbon dioxide and water. And in test tube B, for test tube B, reaction is written as sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is NaHCO3. When reacts with HCl solution, you will get common salt, that is NaCl, carbon dioxide and water. Means from above two reactions, you can say that when metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate, okay, metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate, when reacts with acid, you get common salt, carbon dioxide and water. See, metal carbonate plus acid gives you salt plus carbon dioxide plus water, while metal hydrogen carbonate when reacts with acid, you will get salt, carbon dioxide and water, okay. Now see, when we pass excess carbon dioxide in the reaction, then what happens when you pass excess carbon dioxide, that is CaCO3, it reacts with water and carbon dioxide. Then the product obtained is what? CaHCO3 that is aqueous in nature. We called it as a salt soluble in water. Okay, means like here you can consider CaCO3, limestone, chalk, marble, etc. different form of calcium carbonate. Any of it you can consider. All metal carbonates and hydrogen carbonates reacts with acid to give a corresponding salt, carbon dioxide and water. Okay. Now we will see that how do acids and bases reacts with each other. Okay. Now see, here we will consider a small example. See, in this example, what we are doing, we are taking just 2 ml of dilute NaOH solution in a test tube. Means we have to take dilute sodium hydroxide solution in a test tube and add 2 drops of phenolphthalein indicator to it. Now note the color. Now you will note the color. Then what happens? Now add dilute HCl solution to the above solution drop by drop. What you will see that its color is changing slightly. Now add few drops of NaOH solution to the mixture. Now see whether the pink color which is disappear is reappearing or what. It is reappearing. Now why does this happens? Because we have observed that the effect of a base is nullified by an acid. Means what? The reaction taking place here is what? NaOH plus HCl. Okay. Here HCl is reacting with NaOH to give H2O, that is water, and sodium chloride. Okay. Now the reaction between an acid and a base to give a salt and water is known as neutralization reaction. The reaction between an acid and a base to give a salt and water is known as neutralization reaction. In general, in neutralization reaction can be written as acid plus base gives you salt and water. Acid and base are reactants while salt and water are the products. Okay. Acid plus base gives you salt plus water. Now see, we will consider the reaction of metallic oxides with acids. Now metallic oxides or metal oxides are compounds that are made from a metal and oxygen. Now see, metal, and you can consider many examples of metallic oxide. Means any metal when react with oxygen, they gives you metal oxides like aluminium oxide, okay, ferrous oxide, like this, magnesium oxide. Okay. Now see, for example, if we burn magnesium ribbon in presence of oxygen or in air, you have learned this. Okay. Then what happens when magnesium reacts with oxygen? You get the product as magnesium oxide. Means what? Magnesium reacts with oxygen and the product obtained is what? Magnesium oxide. So this magnesium oxide is called as a metal oxide. Or when acid reacts with metal oxides to make a salt and water. For example, sulfuric acid reacts with copper oxide to make copper sulfate and water. Sulfuric acid means what? H2SO4 plus copper oxide means CuO2 reacts with copper sulfate and water, gives you copper sulfate and water. So in these reactions we can write, we know that the metal oxide reacts with acids to give salts and water. Similarly to the reaction of a base with an acid, metallic oxides are given to be basic oxides. See, acids and metal oxides. Farmers are often using this lime to reduce the acidity of their soil. Lime is a metal oxide and calcium oxide. Metal oxides will neutralize acids to form a salt and water. Metal oxide plus acid gives you salt plus water. Or you can consider magnesium oxide plus carbonic acid, that is MgO plus H2CO3 gives you magnesium carbonate, that is MgCO3 plus water, that is H2O. Now we will see what do all acids and all bases have in common. For this we will have to do a small activity. In this activity what we have to do, we have to take solutions of glucose, alcohol, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, etc. Now fix 2 nails on a cork and place the cork in a 100 ml beaker. See, you can see the setup on your screen. Connect the nails of the 2 terminals of a 6-volt battery that is connected through a bulb and a switch as shown. Now pour some dilute HCl in a beaker and switch on the current. Repeat with dilute sulfuric acid. Now note down your observation, that what you are seeing. Repeat the experiment separately with glucose and alcohol solutions. Note it down. What you will find? You will find that the bulb will react glowing in the case of acids. As shown in the figure. But you will observe that glucose and alcohol solutions do not conduct electricity. Glowing of the bulb indicates that there is a flow of electric current through the solution. The electric current is carried through the solution by ions. Since the cation presence in acid is H+, this suggests that acids produce hydrogen ions, that is H+ ions in solutions, while these H+ ions are responsible for their acidic properties. We can also repeat the same experiment considering the alkalis. Alkalis are the aqueous bases. Example: sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, etc. We can repeat this experiment using the alkalis or bases also. Okay, in this method what happens, we know whether whether we have taken acid or base. In case of acids, the bulb glows. Okay, now we will see the common things are that both acids and bases are electrolytes, which means that both of them are good conductors of electricity. Both of them produce ions in water. Acid produce H+ ions in aqueous solution, while bases produce OH- ion in aqueous solutions. Strong acids and strong base are corrosive in nature. That is, they both are not metals. Means, see, strong acid and strong base means what? Strong acids are the acids in which their aqueous nature is very low, means they are pure in form. Okay, the process of mixing acid or base in water is an exothermic process. In this process, always heat is given out, or the amount of heat is released. Now see what happens to an acids or bases in a water solution. If we react HCl plus water, okay, HCl plus water means what? If we consider electrolytic process, okay, acid plus water means what? Or hydrochloric plus water means what? HCl plus H2O. It gives you H3O plus Cl minus ion. Means what? Hydrogen ion in HCl are produced in the process of water. The separation of H+ ions from HCl molecules cannot occur in the absence of water. HCl plus H2O gives you H3O and Cl. Hydrogen ion cannot exist alone, but they exist after combining with water molecules. Thus, hydrogen ions must always be shown as H+ or H3O plus ion. H3O plus means what? Hydronia ion. We have seen that acids give H3O plus or H+ ion, while it happens when a base is dissolved in water. Means, suppose if we consider the base NaOH, when it is dissolved in water, it gives the ions Na plus and OH minus ion. Means Whenever acids and bases are reacted, salt and water is formed. Now see, how strong are acids or base solutions? We know how acids and base indicators are used to distinguish between an acid and a base. Now many indicators we can consider, like phenolphthalein, methyl orange indicator. You can also consider the indicator as turmeric, etc. We know that when dilution is done, then there is decrease in concentration of H plus and OH minus ions in solutions. Okay, we can do this by making use of universal indicator, which is a mixture of several indicators. The universal indicator shows different colors at different concentrations of hydrogen ions in a solution. A strip of fine paper is used for it. With universal indicator, that paper is known as pH paper. Now what is this pH? pH stands for potens in German. Now the meaning of potens is what? Power. In order to recognize acidic, alkaline or basic nature, we are using pH scale. pH scale is a scale for measuring hydrogen ion concentration in a solution. Okay, on the pH scale, we can measure pH generally from 0 to 14. Okay, now see, pH should be thought of simply as a number which indicates the acidic or basic nature of a solution. Higher the hydronium ion, that is H3O ion, then the H3O ion concentration, lower is the pH value. Now see, as shown, pH of a neutral solution is 7. Means pH of, here we can consider example of water. Water means which water? Distilled water. Its pH is always 7. But we never drink distilled water. Remember it. Values less than 7, that is 0 to 7. On the pH scale represent an acidic solution. As the pH value increases from 7 to 14, it represents an increase in OH minus ion concentration in the solution, that is increase in the strength of alkali or bases. Generally, paper impregnated with the universal indicator is used for measuring pH. Now see, we will consider a table. It is given in your textbook. We have to take the pH values of the solutions given in the table. Now we have to record your observation and we have to mention the nature of each substance on the basis of our observation. Now see, saliva. Now see, when we consider a solution of saliva, then the pH paper shows color green. Okay, the pH value is what? 7. So the nature of substance is neutral. Whenever pH value is 7, substance is neutral. If value lies between 0 to 7, then it is acidic in nature, and if its value lies from 7 to 14 or E to 14, then the nature is alkaline or basic. Okay, now see, if we consider the example of lemon juice, then lemon juice is what? It shows the pink color on pH paper. Now lemon juice shows the value of between 0 to 6, that is it is acidic in nature. We can also think about that lemon juice consists citrus acid. Acid means what? Its value should be less than 7. Now if we drink colorless aerated water and if we consider it on pH paper, it shows lime green color and its pH is less than 7, so it is acidic in nature. If we consider carrot juice, coffee, both shows the nature acidic. While if we consider tomato juice, it shows yellowish orange color on pH paper. Its value is less than 7, that is it lies between 0 to 6. So it is also acidic in nature. Now tap water, it shows green to lime green color. Its pH value is 7. We have written here neutral, but it is little less than that of the neutral. Now 1 molar of sodium hydroxide, that is NaOH or HCl, both are, see, NaOH. OH means what? It shows, it will give the OH minus ion if it is taken in aqueous solution. It means what? It is alkaline in nature. While HCl, it will give H plus ion, that is, it is acidic in nature. The strength of acids and bases depends on the nature of H plus ions and OH minus ions produced respectively. Okay, so have you got it? That if we take hydrochloric acid, then, and if means 1 molar of hydrochloric acid, then it is acidic in nature because it gives rise to more H plus ions and it is a strong acid. Now we will see how important is to consider the pH in everyday life. Now see, the living body works normally within a pH range of 7 to 7.8. When pH of river water goes below 5.6 due to acidic rains, aquatic life faces a difficulty in their survival. Every type of plant requires a specific pH range from healthy growth. Therefore, the nature of soil is known first by testing its pH and then a particular crop is grown. It is also suitable for selecting the fertilizer for a particular crop by knowing the pH of the soil. HCl present in the solution in the stomach helps for the digestion of the food. To correct the disturbed pH range, we are using milk of magnesia in our medicine or antacid, which reduces the effect of acidity. Okay, or it is very interesting to note our stomach producing HCl solution. It causes harming to stomach, but during indigestion the stomach produces too much acid. That's why we feel acidity or irritation or pain. That's why we take antacids. Okay, now in tooth enamel, in this process tooth decay starts when the pH of the mouth is lower than 5.5. The decay of the tooth enamel begins in this range. This happens when the bacteria present in the mouth produce acids by eating or by degradation of some type of food materials in our mouth. The way to clean the mouth after eating food is the best way to prevent it. Using toothpaste, which are generally basic in nature, are used to neutralize the excess acids. We can also consider self-defense of animals and plants through chemical warfare, means bee-sting leaves and acids which causes pain and irritation. Use of a mild base like baking soda on the stung area gives relief. Stinging hair, etc., which inject methanoic acid causing burning pain. These are some of the examples of the use of pH in our daily life. Okay, now see, here we are considering one activity. In this activity, see, we have taken some salts, that is potassium sulfate, sodium sulfate, calcium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, copper sulfate, sodium chloride, sodium nitrate, sodium carbonate, ammonium chloride. Okay, now see what we are doing here. Wait a minute. When we consider these salts, now we have to we have written the formula of the particular salts that are mentioned in the formula. Sorry for the disturbance. Okay, now see, potassium sulfate is represented by K2SO4, sodium sulfate is represented by Na2SO4, calcium sulfate is represented by CaSO4, copper sulfate by CuSO4, NaCl stands for sodium chloride, NaNO3 that is sodium nitrate stands for NaNO3, sodium carbonate stands for Na2CO3, and ammonium chloride is represented by chemical formula NH4Cl. Now see, acidic observation means what? Here we have to see their acidic observation as well as the basic observation. We have to check the stability here. Okay, see, 1 minute. Some of the presentation slide is misplaced, that's why this is happening. Wait a minute, I'm just taking it back. See, we have to write first formula that we have mentioned. Now we have to identify the acids and bases from which the above salts may be obtained. Now see, we have to write the name of acids also, we have to write the names of bases also, from which we can obtain the salts. Now salts having the same positive or negative radicals are said to belong to a family. For example, see, if we consider NaCl and Na2SO4, now both of these belong to the family of sodium salts. Now similarly we can consider NaCl and KCl, both of these belong to family chloride, both are using ClCl ion, that's why. So we have to identify among the salts given in the activity. Now see, we can obtain K2SO4 from acid H2SO4 and base KOH. Na2SO4 can be obtained from acid H2SO4 and base NOH, nitrogen hydroxide. CaSO4 that is calcium sulfate can be obtained by sulfuric acid and CaOH2. For MgSO4, acid is H2SO4 and base is MeOH2. Now for CuSO4, acid is H2SO4 and base is CuCl2. Sodium chloride is obtained from HCl and NaOH, NaNO3, HNO3 and NaOH. For Na2CO3, acid is H2CO3 and base is NaOH. Similarly for ammonium chloride, acid is HCl and base is NH4OH. Okay, you can mention this in your notebook also, or you can write it in your textbook also by making just a table on the side of the page. Okay, see, here their neutral values are also given. You can just look it. Means first you have to write down stage, acidic, basic or neutral. Then you will have to mention its pH value, acid used and the base used in order to obtain the particular salt. Now what is this common salt? We know that the salt is obtained by the formation of hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide solution is called the sodium chloride. This salt is used in our food. You must have observed that it is a neutral salt. Seawater contains many salts dissolved in it. Sodium chloride is separated from these salts. Deposits of sodium solid salt are also found in several parts of our world. These large crystals are broken due to some impurities, which we call that impurities as rock salts. Base of rock salt were formed when seas of bygone ages dry up. Rock salt is mined like coal. Okay, or you may have learned about the process of Dandi March by Gandhiji in your history also. Did you know that the sodium chloride was such an important symbol in our struggle of freedom? Now see, common salt. Common salt is very important raw material for various materials of daily use such as baking soda, washing soda, bleaching powder, etc. We will consider them one by one. See here, I have mentioned the reaction. When you react hydrochloric acid with sodium hydroxide, that is NaOH reacts with HCl, then NaCl is formed. This NaCl is nothing but sodium chloride, that is common salt, and gives out water. This salt is neutral in nature. Now we will consider various types of salt one by one. First salt we have considered is baking soda. In baking soda, we use it commonly in our kitchen for making tasty, crispy things. Sometimes it is also added in order to fasten cooking also. The chemical name of the baking soda is what? Sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is NaHCO3. It is produced using sodium chloride as one of the raw materials. When you react sodium chloride with water, carbon dioxide and ammonia, then what you will get? You will get NH4Cl and NaHCO3. Now this NaHCO3 is nothing but it is hydrogen carbonate. It is hydrogen carbonate. It is a very mild and non-corrosive base. Now NaCO3 is used for making baking powder, mild edibles, acids such as tartaric acid, or it is used as ingredients in antacids, as it neutralizes excess acid in the stomach and provides little bit relief. You can consider the example of ENO. Now it is also used in soda acid fire extinguishers. See, these are the types of common salt: caustic soda, baking soda, washing soda and bleaching powder. Now let's see about the baking soda, which we have seen. It is used for making food crispy. Now see, here are some of the properties of baking soda. Baking soda is a white crystalline solid sparingly soluble in water at room temperature. Its aqueous solution is weakly alkaline due to hydrolysis. On heating, it decomposes to give sodium carbonate and carbon dioxide. You can see the reaction. We know that it is used for making tartaric acid in soda acid fire extinguishers and as mild antiseptic or antacid, that we have already seen in the previous slide. Now see, yeah, what I have done, I have taken common salts: washing soda, baking soda, bleaching powder and plaster of Paris. Then written their chemical name. Chemical name for washing soda is sodium carbonate dihydrate. For baking soda, it is sodium hydrogen carbonate. Bleaching soda, calcium oxychloride. Plaster of Paris, that is POP, is represented chemically by calcium sulfate amyloid. Now we have mentioned their chemical formula and their uses also. Washing soda is used in casting soda, softening of hard water. Baking soda is used as antacids. Also bleaching powder is used for bleaching clothes, used as oxidizing agent, disinfecting water, manufacture of chloroform, etc. And plaster of Paris is used for plastering fractured bones, making toys, decorative materials, statues, etc. Okay, now we will see about that whether the crystals of salts really dry. For this we will consider an activity. We have to take a few crystals of copper sulfate in a dry boiling test tube. What is the color of the copper sulfate after heating? Have you ever noticed that water droplets are formed in the boiling test tube? Where these water drops comes from? See, copper sulfate crystals which seem to be dry contain water during crystallization. If we heat the crystals, then what happens? Water is removed out and the salt turns white in nature. If you moisten the crystal again with water, what you will find? You will find that the color of the crystals reappears. Water of crystallization means what? It is a fixed number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt. 5 water molecules are present in a sodium sulfate, in a copper sulfate. Copper sulfate means what? CuSO4 5H2O. One other salt which produces water of crystallization is gypsum. It has 2 water molecules as water of crystallization and it has formed CaSO4, that is calcium sulfate and water. Now see, on heating gypsum at 373 Kelvin, it loses water molecules and become calcium hemihybrid, that is CaSO4 into 1 H2O. Now this CaSO4 when reacts with half the molecule of H2O, that is plaster of Paris, is a white powder, and on mixing with water it changes to gypsum over or once again giving a hard solid mass. Half a water molecule is shown to be attached to water of crystallization. How can you get a half water molecule? It is written in this form because 2 formula units of CaSO4 share 1 molecule of water. Plaster of Paris, that is POP, is used for making toys, materials, for decoration, or for making surfaces smooth, etc. Okay. Now what we have learnt, are you getting it? When acid base indicators are dyes or mixtures of dyes, which is used as the indicator in the presence of acids and bases. When an acid reacts with when an acid reacts with a metal, hydrogen gas is evolved and a corresponding salt is formed. When a base reacts with a metal, along with the evolution of hydrogen gas, a salt is formed which has a negative ion. We have learnt about the